We will move on to our last presenter, Jean Hansen from HDR, a Sustainable Interiors Manager. Jean is not only a LEED fellow, but looking over her LinkedIn profile, has more certifications and volunteer experience than I could possibly rattle off in the remaining time on our call. A key part of this is obviously being a working group member for the development of the Health Product Declaration, the HPD, and a well-published author in and around the sustainable healthcare arena and the architectural arena. Jean, would love to hear your thoughts.
Great. Well, thank you. So as Brent has mentioned, I've long been an advocate for transparency and really involved in sustainability in a very deep level, really researching products, and this goes back over more than a dozen years. So long before many people, even understood these were the issues, I was honing in on this. And my goal is really to be able to understand the content, what the issues might be, including health hazards, and very importantly, to be able to make informed decisions. And these decisions, of course, continue to include the evaluation of the more traditional product attributes, performance and aesthetics, the maintenance, particularly green maintenance, availability. But really being able to truly understand what is in the products is really key to our decision-making process. HDR overall supports this philosophy, and as Brent said, we were one of the original pilot committee members involved in the development of the HPD, and we're also a key sponsor, and we now hold a seat on the board of the Health Product Declaration Collaborative. And we're committed to the consideration of human and environmental health, which is really twofold. First of all, being able to evaluate the product content through transparency to allow us to make informed decisions, which then allows us to use the power of specification to inform and reward the marketplace. And this is nothing new. Our decisions for years have informed as well as rewarded the marketplace. We are finding that a number of our clients are requiring that we pay attention to the chemicals of concern, and we need to inform them, and after we do the research and identify safer alternatives when they do exist. And with the approach of LEED version 4, and we've been doing this work before LEED version 4 even became available as in the beta version as well. And but we're going to see this become even more imperative for our work, for our clients, to support human and environmental health. And as you can all imagine, the research is challenging. It can be very time-consuming, very costly, and we do find that there are a number of manufacturers that can provide us with the information we need, but we find that there's more that cannot. They're not ready to do it. That they haven't begun taking those deep dives. They don't provide all of the information that we need, or they even provide a lot of times inaccurate information. And we're becoming very aware of when they do provide us with inaccurate information, because we are learning a lot about the industry. And obviously there's a lot of suppliers and sub-suppliers that are used, across companies. So we're really recommending that manufacturers consider the route of transparency and reporting on the health hazards as well. And we are so looking forward to having, better access, having the firms, such as you've heard here, where there's a number of firms that have written letters or are writing letters, and we'll be providing those to the manufacturers, letting them know that we all are requesting that they provide more transparency in their products. And then as well as very excited that GreenWizard is going to be one of the great resources out there that will have a centralized collection of this data that's really critical for our work. It's going to lessen our time and our money, our fees involved in this research, and really allow and really make this much more accessible to more of our clients, because it really shouldn't just be available for the key clients. It ought to be available for everyone, because health, no matter what type of project, even though I spend a lot of my time doing healthcare work, it doesn't matter what type of project we're working on. health is really critical for everyone. And I think, you know, we're really beginning to understand that there's a lot of public health issues. Some of these chemicals are tied to obesity, for instance, and we know that that's a growing concern, and it's very costly for all of us and for our country. And so, you know, this work really crosses borders that, you know, we have not really traditionally thought of before. And so as you're aware, GreenWizard does enable manufacturers to upload an HBD under the product's profile when it's available, just as you would an EPD or a tech data sheet. And you know, I'm just looking forward to having resources out there that, you know, are easy to access, quick to evaluate, and I see this as a very exciting time for us.
All right, Gene, thank you so much. I do appreciate that.
Gene, that was great.
Good.
Hey, Brent, I'd like to add actually something onto what Gene was saying. She touched on a great keyword there, which was accuracy. I did have a vendor talk to me where I was asking them. They were asking me, you know, what do I do with this? How do I get to this? You know, can't I just give you my MSDS sheet? Won't that give you what you need? And I think it's just a key thing to point out. MSDS sheets are measuring chemicals at 10,000 parts per million. Getting down to some of these chemicals is actually requiring either process chemistry or getting down to 1,000 or even in some cases 100 parts per million. So it's really going beyond what we're looking at right now for MSDS sheets. I just kind of wanted to, you know, throw that one out there because I know it's a question I get asked a lot, and Gene just kind of reminded me.